Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the new Ford Expedition Raptor. That is correct. Before we get in this video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money, the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. And then if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Let's get into it. So it's no secret that Ford is trying to Raptor the world. They released the original Raptor about a decade ago, and it completely transformed the truck market because, in my opinion, the Gen 1 Raptor was the first real sports truck. Yes, you had the GMC Cyclone and you had the Ram SRT10, but this was the first pickup truck that not only had solid straight line acceleration, but it could also handle really well on-road, and it was amazing when it came to off-road capability. I mean, Gen 1 Raptors are still some of the most capable off-roaders like just ever, even compared to a lot of modified off-road vehicles. And so it just, again, it really transformed things. And then Ford obviously went from the Gen 1 Raptor to the Gen 2 Raptor, which really like amplified things because at the tail end of the Gen 2 Raptor production, they added the live valve Fox shocks, which made it so that the truck handled even better both on-road and off-road. And now we're in the third generation of the Raptor, which has multi-link in the back end, which makes it even more capable off-road. You can get 37-inch tall tires from the factory, and it still has those live valve Fox shocks, which again make it handle amazingly well on-road and off-road. And Ford has now added other Raptors into the lineup. We now have the Bronco Raptor, which is basically just an F-150 Raptor, but you can like take off the top and the doors and all that kind of stuff. I've driven one, and so that's the best way to describe it. And then we have the Ranger Raptor, which is kind of like the mini Raptor. It doesn't have 37-inch tall tires like the F-150 and like the Bronco, but it's still amazingly capable off-road. And so now Ford is looking to expand this lineup because if you look at every single Raptor, all of them are sold out. And not only are they sold out, but they sell for significant premiums over MSRP. Now, yes, we cannot get the Ranger Raptor here in the US yet, but I promise you, the second that we can get the Ranger Raptor here in the US, you will see Ford dealers marking them up $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over MSRP. And people will pay it because people are so excited about the Raptor brand. And well, this leads us into that Expedition Raptor. So yes, Ford is working on an Expedition Raptor, which actually makes quite a bit of sense because the Raptor package is just an extreme off-road package for any of Ford's product. At least that's what they've turned it into. Because again, you look at a regular F-150 and it can do some off-roading and it's pretty cool, but you look at the Raptor, right? Wide body, huge tires, crazy shocks, crazy suspension. It can do high-speed off-roading, it can do low-speed off-roading, it can literally do everything. And so they're just going to take that and spread it out across their lineup with vehicles that make sense. Ford is kind of taking a similar approach to what Toyota has done with the TRD Pro nameplate. If you look at Toyota, they have the Sequoia and the Tundra, and then they have the 4Runner, and they have the Tacoma. They haven't put the TRD Pro name on things like the RAV4 or, I don't know, a Corolla, for example. Like with the RAV4, you can get a TRD off-road, but you cannot get a TRD Pro. And so I think that Ford's going to do a similar thing where they reserve the Raptor nameplate for vehicles where it actually makes sense so that they can actually, engineer those vehicles with hardcore off-road performance. Because like, imagine, I don't know, like a Ford Maverick Raptor. Like as cool as that sounds, it would be very difficult to make it so that a Maverick would be able to fit huge tires and have, shocks that made it so that it, lived up to the Raptor name. But diving into the specs with this Expedition Raptor, it is still going to be a Raptor, but it's not going to be as crazy as the Raptors that we currently have, especially when you compare it to an F-150 and a Bronco. So with the Expedition Raptor, it is most likely going to have 35-inch tall tires. It's not going to get 37s, sadly, and it's not going to have a crazy wide body kit like what you see with the F-150 and with the Bronco. Well, the Bronco is actually all fender flare, and that actually is what the Expedition is going to have. It's basically going to be all fender flare in terms of the Raptorness of it to make it wider, and the fender flares will be to accommodate those larger 35-inch tall tires. Now, don't worry, it's still going to have serious off-road specs. If you look at the Expedition Timberline, which is an Expedition you can buy today, it has like over 10 inches of ground clearance from the factory, which is not as much as a Raptor. Like a Gen 3 Raptor with 37-inch tall tires has something like 13 inches of ground clearance. If you get 35s, you're in that 12-inch range. And so the Expedition with 35s will have like 12 inches of ground clearance, and it will have live valve Fox shocks. Now, the thing to note with this Expedition is it's going to be, you know, a little bit more subdued compared to the other Raptors. And what I mean is that it's not going to have nearly as much travel. So you look at an F-150 Raptor and a Bronco Raptor, they have like 13 inches of travel in the front and 14 in the rear if you equip them with 37-inch tall tires. If you have them with 35-inch tall tires, well, you can't get the Bronco Raptor, but the F-150 Raptor with 35s, you'll have 14 in the front and 15 in the rear in terms of the travel numbers. The Expedition is going to be a little bit more conservative than that, so expect the travel numbers to be, you know, closer to the 11, maybe 12-inch range, which for an SUV or just for any off-road in general, that's still like really solid travel numbers. I mean, the Ram TRX, for example, which is another vehicle in this crazy, you know, Baja off-roader segment, has about 13 inches of travel front and rear. And so, you know, if the Expedition was just an inch less than that, I mean, that's like Gen 1, Gen 2 Raptor territory in terms of travel. So that's still more than enough to be able to handle some fun Baja driving. Now, other stuff with the outside, it'll obviously have like the Raptor grille, you know, the big chunky Ford logo, marker lights. Even if the Expedition doesn't need the marker lights because it won't be wide enough to, you know, meet the federal mandate, it'll still have it because that's just a Raptor thing to do. And then the interior will obviously be Raptorized. So there's going to be like the base interior is what you would call it, which will be similar to what we have in the Gen 3 Raptor with the 35 package if you don't get the Recaro seats. So like black leather seats, they're, you know, a little bit more aggressively bolstered, but nothing too crazy. And then obviously it will have a Recaro seat package. Now in terms of the color, not really sure at this point. If we look at the, you know, Raptor R, that has a black interior with the Recaro seats. If we look at the Gen 3, you have the blue, and then with the Bronco Raptor, you can also get blue but with code orange. My guess for the Expedition is they're probably going to stick somewhere with that color theme. I kind of lean more towards the black side of things, but I mean, you can get the Timberline with a green interior, so maybe Ford will go crazy with the interior color for this. But outside of those changes, that's pretty much going to be it. It's still going to be an Expedition at the end of the day. It's just going to be a beefed up off-road Expedition that's, you know, slotted above the Timberline. Now let's cap things off by talking about release with this Expedition Raptor and then also pricing as well. Now when it comes to release, well, first off, the new generation Expedition was released for the 2022 model year, and so it's safe to say that this is not going to come out until probably the 2024 model year. Now, it might be a 2024, but it also might be a 2025. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. Now, when it comes to pricing, a Timberline is like $80,000. And so, yeah, this is going to be painful for some of you to hear. This Raptor version of the Expedition is going to be a $100,000 SUV. Again, look at the F-150 Raptor. If you get one with 37-inch tall tires and load it up, it's $90,000. Bronco Raptor, same thing. You're like $90,000. And the thing about SUVs compared to trucks is they're always more expensive. I mean, a great example is I did a side-by-side comparison with a Toyota Tundra TRD Pro and the Sequoia TRD Pro. Basically the same vehicle, SUV version versus truck version. Well, the Tundra was $70,000 for the MSRP, whereas the Sequoia was $80,000 for the MSRP. That's just how things go. And so just expect wherever Gen 3 F-150 Raptor pricing's at, the Expedition is going to be about $10,000 more expensive than that. It's the price you pay for SUV life. Let me know what you guys think about this new Expedition Raptor. I'll see you.